Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yay.
Mr. White?
No.
Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that opportunity. I really am trying to disarm a situation that is clearly contentious and volatile.
Read your statement.
I am. Please let me get through it without interruption, if you don't mind. Okay. I don't like to see my city fight with its citizens. The city and its citizens should make every possible effort to cooperate and work with one another towards fairness and the common good. If a mistake is made, it should be owned and made right. Of course, if an issue can no longer be amicably discussed, then a case in court or a battle of public opinion may be warranted. However, I do not believe we have reached that threshold with the River of Life trailer debacle, even though it's been in court. I believe we can compromise and find a solution that acts with grace, humility, and compassion towards the common good and everyone's interests. In the last week, I've spent well over 30 hours reading all the paperwork, researching the ordinances and statutes, interviewing many of those concerned, and having multiple meetings with Board of Adjustment members, River of Life, Bob Jenny, Ken Adams. At this point, there are some significant discrepancies between the narratives. We saw some of it tonight. However, I believe that at least 4 Board of Adjustment members, 4 City Council members, and I haven't talked to all Board of Adjustment, and I haven't talked to all City Council, the River of Life, Bob Jenny, and Ken Adams all agree that there are several fair and honorable ways to deal with this which would not require more ugliness or further escalation in the animosity, which is what I'm after. I hope we're all after that. Let me describe each side of the coin. Okay, there are kind of 2 arguments. So to put it in context, I'm going to take a minute and look at each. I believe that the River of Life made a reasonable effort to do the right thing. They asked our city officials what was needed in order to put the trailer where it is currently located. Under normal circumstances, this would have been enough. However, they were errantly led to believe by city officials that the property was not in city limits. This belief was further supported by months of non-action by the city. The determination that this property was not in city limits was incorrect, however, and over 4 uninterrupted months, River of Life made substantial investment in what is really a non-compliant endeavor. According to the building inspector's report, the misinformation came from officials of the city as high up as the mayor. I do not believe it was malicious in any way. It was just an error, either in interpretation or presentation, but it was an error that introduced confusion. Though this misinformation was not intentional, I do believe the city, whose purpose it is to protect and facilitate the well-being of its citizens, has significant moral responsibility to ameliorate the consequences of this situation. The city has an obligation to be accountable and provide substantial justice to River of Life, Stark Nurseries, and the citizens of Louisiana. The ugly truth, however, is that bad advice from a public official does not invalidate the law. Further, property law dictates that it is the responsibility of the property owner to ensure compliance. River of Life should have known it was in the city. River of Life may be exempt from city taxes, but the property is clearly listed as being in the tax district. The map illustrating the city limits is publicly available. River of Life has secured building permits for other projects on the same property. Certainly, private legal counsel would have found this error. In the eyes of the law, due diligence was not done by the property owner. This can be seen in the April 4th Louisiana Municipal Court order in this matter. I have the summons number, etc. It may seem harsh, but in the eyes of the law, the simple truth is that a residential house trailer is not allowed in a B2 zone. River of Life must acknowledge the responsibility of the property owner to be legally responsible for compliance. So I believe that the city of Louisiana has a moral responsibility, and River of Life has a legal responsibility to work together in finding a mutually palatable solution. Nobody did anything malicious. Nobody tried to circumvent the law. Everyone did a mediocre job of trying to help and get this done. Unfortunately, more was required. It required a thorough and determined documentation of facts, and that did not happen. The result is that River of Life is not in compliance, and they need to become compliant. I believe the city's moral obligation is to ameliorate River of Life's consequences. If we can agree that the ideal solution would be one which brings the property into compliance, balancing that burden with the substantial private investment made upon confusion introduced by the city, then 1, an amended order by the municipal court, or 2, a special use exemption from the Board of Adjustments would be reasonable options in reaching such a compromise. Number 1, I suggest that a letter be sent to the municipal court with signatories representing both the City of Louisiana and River of Life. This letter could state mutual agreement in recommending that due to confusion introduced by the city, the court's order be amended to require compliance in some number of years. Set that aside for a separate conversation, rather than the typical 60 days. The number of years given should represent a deference to the private investment made by River of Life. Further, the order might include that River of Life should plant a double row of pine trees, which would address the complaint by Stark Brothers. Or, 2, should the court not support such an amendment to its judgment, there is a second course of action I would recommend. The city, via the Board of Adjustments, might give River of Life a special use exemption, giving them some number of years to bring the property into compliance and requiring River of Life to plant the double row of pine trees. Either of these options might resolve the issue to the satisfaction of both parties, fairly represent the citizens of Louisiana who expect policies and behavior resulting in an ethical and helpful government, and finally result in a fully compliant property for everyone. There are a lot of both nuances and flashpoints involved in this situation. There are disagreeing chronologies and statements, etc. There's a lot of chest pounding and pride. But I believe we can find a solution that acts with grace, humility, and compassion for the common good. So my request is that this council give its focus to an effort to do the right thing. And I ask, what are your thoughts?